Did we ever get access to the Vanguard account?
No. That's what, I think, yeah, I might have brought up because
Let alone.
I
the,
think where we're at is that I needed to get a copy of the minutes. That here, he thought he sent them to me, but I couldn't find it. Last time we talked. he
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, I didn't see it there.
Oh,
I'll have to go search,
I think you can search and then that would be great.
but what's that?
That was the give.
I know, what's that, 2 or 3 months ago?
Yes. More that one that could be next.
Victor? See. Do you hear anything under, did you join on your phone? Do you hear anything?
I'm just now,
Oh.
gonna get logged in here.
And Lori, did you get the email for the new bank account?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna try and take care of that this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get.
I didn't get one.
You didn't get one? Oh, I think. Then I will. Well, then what? I have an alternative method for you.
All right,
Have a paper forms.
Recording in progress.
One for you.
You're in
well, the microphone works.
You're in your phone.
Either.
Okay, you can-
And or just take them in for the first hand.
Okay. Let's.
Maybe if you go in the hallway and talk and see.
I'm just turning the volume down here.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
they would like you to give you. a
Let's just start playing with.
And,
inputs.
what, all that.
Yes, right. Yeah, background check.
Background check.
There's,
Testing, testing, testing. Test, 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 test.
you know, we can do it, right? Then we can.
Try it.
Driver's license.
Anybody there? No.
Okay.
Oh, test, 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 test.
Personal and social security number of relationship to account. Who's the accountant?
You don't want to sit there?
You have any idea how long it
We
would
get a,
take?
we get $1.17.
And we get all kinds of junk mail to make sure for all the other people who want us, and people that want us to help them sue them.
Your relationship is associate.
Associate, huh? Okay.
I mean, what are you gonna say?
Well, exactly.
Fill in the blank.
So one more input
Yeah.
on your choose, then we'll go back to the old system. How about that? Anything there? I'm not muted.
That is, that is.
Yeah.
Oh. Jeez. Oh. It's.
I knew this last week.
We have that.
Eileen's not gonna be here, but I've got her deal.
Find out more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
You have a good place for all of you.
in case Ken Collins comes down, you know, we normally find people for articles.
Yeah.
And so he's also pictured right there.
He's in there most of them.
So.
He's been there 5 times. So we'll be fine.
Oh. no,
If he comes down, give that to the sergeant.
This is the great idea. Because you can grow whatever you want. I like shiitakes and oysters. Grow
So should
the chanterelles.
He's on there.
You can't grow those commercially.
Okay.
They still haven't found a way that I'm aware of, that you can do that.
Oh.
And
Which makes them kind
I
of.
never know.
you have to go find them. Yeah,
Test. There you go.
All right.
Oh.
A lot of them.
Well, I think it's just.
We're having it all different down there also for problems. as
And
well.
we remember.
So, being dark.
Do you remember which one it was?
Yeah.
What's one of the Here, let me turn this off.
Because, you know, like Chanterelle is the best environment for them, the needle forest. Lots of, like that spot right behind her.
Yeah.
That spot there.
Epson, that's
Um,
probably,
if it- if
yeah,
it's
that's
get
an
wet,
Epson, so
okay.
there you go.
go.
If it's
That's the
close
key,
for-
yeah.
But
Maybe if we just rental all this time and.
it's usually in the winter, when it gets wet is when they pop up. So, but that kind of environment is the perfect environment for them. Yeah. So, down all the way down to the river. Although there's a lot of burns, in there, they don't like the burn.
That's birds. Every once in a while we had somebody go out and harvest some birds. and stuff.
Yeah. there's no burns in that.
I think the bank already has all this information on me from G Wiz.
Ah. Sports.
Don't even start.
My goodness, you get in trouble.
He's got on me. He's got on me.
So there's the whole microphone have changed in terms of
I think so.
media money and bank money. and
You've
everything
told
else.
me.
Yeah.
I am, but I mean.
But I think you're getting money too. Aloha.
Oh, microphone's changed, yeah. Are you done?
All right.
Hey, Lance, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Good. That's what I'm doing.
It's good.
Because it says
Felt that.
name number 2, number 3.
To do the table with the Hollywood. What's it called? Do the table with the river that goes through it. Was that yours?
Wow.
Okay, let me get my.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, move back.
I did move down the river.
But you can go to me,
That's too
you
bad.
know, but I.
Down in the second.
City
has
Chris.
Yeah.
If we could do an auction item for our. Creative songs, we get my song, like, So I. Yeah, so I thought a little charcuterie board or poster or something. You know, that people could do pretty much in one. Okay. I thought you liked things just about before,
You didn't get.
Oh, yeah, go by there.
I did.
Swing right by.
Oh, it's a mailing address.
Yeah, it's.
Much better than there yesterday, I saw Chris's car there now.
It's not, so.
Same now.
Well, it was.
We actually went through, this was a couple of years, but we went through like the steps. Very excited on what we could do and,
Yeah, I could supply all the wood, the resin.
know how.
You know, help us.
Testing, testing. 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 Testing, testing, testing.
I'll reach out one more time.
Yeah.
Why don't you forward me his email?
Yeah. and
You know what,
it'd be different.
my name had left my phone at home. I
Right.
can't believe I did that.
But if you just forward.
Yeah,
his
Kirkland's
email
another place.
Okay.
and I'll-
That could change.
Okay, no, okay.
My family, oh, they bought it.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Great.
Test, 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 test.
That's hilarious.
It faces the
Yeah.
foot plate, and then, you know, so it's perfect view, I mean, a great view. It's all pretty much low.
That way I
at
never
that
got
time.
insurance.
We fixed it up.
Yeah.
Just, that's a big deal, like.
Yes, yes.
I mean, that's honestly the biggest thing, they don't switch, because they don't want that again, right? So, it's like, there's no reason.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's been frustrating for them because they're. I don't like anything on that. I tell people, don't do that because it's a pain. Not this to send them over an app. Oh, you've already done it. No, I haven't. Because I haven't signed it. No, poor guy. So, yeah. So there's that. You know, so I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
What I fear is, my goodness, I can't believe you doing this. Oh, you did this
Yeah.
really bad risk.
you know, so here's.
Yeah, you want to keep studying that, letting it here.
And let's really.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
yes and no, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I can't show you stuff that doesn't, the only thing I'll look at is the good things I've been here.
Oh, explaining
I always look at
the-
the house value and just make sure it's, you know, because if you've had it for a while, the inflation rate is 0% on your house.
I had talked to Kevin.
Wood and everything else is
Said that, I was
higher.
thinking
So
about
sometimes
doing that.
it's not going to the same, so sometimes the house may be cool, I'm not sure, but.
And the replacement value is probably more than what the value on the house is.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we'll back around, probably.
Well, and so the workshop is not sure to value.
yeah.
I know it's not, that's not.
Good morning.
That would replace.
So we need to look at that. But here's the thing, even if the rate, if we do that, you'll have to review about it.
Yeah,
And I'm not, if I ever say something about this, only because I sort of claim like it, I'll make the possibilities and things like that. But that is- for this one. So we'll go through it and I'll actually review it.
Ask Steve over
Yeah,
there.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Even though he's not there anymore.
Yeah. You gotta figure it out. I had a kid at church back.
Good, how are you?
You have a seizure.
Yeah, it's a great put together.
Yeah.
So it was funny because they were 32. So yeah, the kid knew. Well, now.
Yeah. that's always,
If you look at my.
Like they're like down. We kind of grabbed others, I think it down, and it down, and it said, so they all alerted him. He knew it was.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
Something, it started, yes. Yeah. So like, what the heck? Yeah. We knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They may not have been on my wife and she's still. Started the gym.
That feels down.
It was.
Oh, okay, so. Oh, yeah. the extra-
You know, so, and if you're putting perspective that way.
Yeah, how are you? How are you?
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
My daughter's.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll go down. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, can do that.
He's down. Oh, no, I'm actually.
Yeah. On and on.
So we have to make it. Yeah.
Well, they went to Mexico. They're back now.
Yes, I am doing that.
Yeah, I gave them already told.
I know.
They would never put like roommates on the wall together. Yeah. So.
Or. And then. Well. And then, yes, it was split with different activities. Yeah.
Good morning,
All
Rotary,
right.
Blake Stevens, and yes.
Good morning.
I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we'll review the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it
true? Second,
Is it
third,
Well, that's a friendship.
fourth,
Look,
fifth.
Is it?
Five.
Let's hear it for, Van.
Vanna. Gee, that's great. I always wanted to be Vanna. Okay, so, we don't have an Eileen. So Gary, do you have anything?
I do for Mylene.
All right.
It's, and I was told to read it word for word.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make sure that. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Deep thought.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, looks like we have a visitor.
Yes, this is my daughter-in-law, Malika.
Hello. Welcome. Good to have you. And I don't see any others. Well, we have a special guest. This is Rebecca Minelga. And she is with Santana. And she's gonna be our speaker today. We're gonna learn all about guys.
Santana is gonna talk today?
He's not allowed to.
Well, that would be interesting if she was allowed to. But, at least we got a microphone working.
Yeah.
I think everybody can hear us in Zoom land, so that's all right, we're good, we're good. All right, so we do have a birthday, Kristen Odegaard, this week. And we have an anniversary, Ron's coming up next week. So happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Are you doing anything special?
Probably our typical dinner and that's it.
All right.
And not the biggest.
What's 37 to make like the Anchor anniversary is 31 years. 31. And I tolerate it for this long, so it's not.
Yeah, I know, we're kind of,
Yeah.
even I are the same way, not just with anniversaries, but since we have the same birthday. It is so easy for us to not like want to do anything really cool, it's just like, hey, I'm good with staying home, I'm good with staying home. All right.
So yesterday was my husband's birthday and it was just a nice day. But I think we both showed up like it was his birthday, like it was a holiday, like we were just a little bit kinder and more generous and, more acts of service and like laughed easier at, each other's dumb jokes. And I was reflecting, I'm like, we should treat every day like it's a birthday, like we have gratitude and celebrate our lives.
Yeah.
So I'm going the opposite direction that you guys are. But
Well, that's cool, I like it.
To be young again.
Okay, I got just a couple announcements. One is just a reminder the Sherwood Gala is coming up, March 16th. Tickets are available online, and I'd like to know if you want to just email me or text me or whatever. I'd like to know if anybody is interested in going, because we want to see if we maybe want to get a table or just go individually, that type of thing. But let's try to give me a heads up if anybody's interested in going. And same with Lucko the Irish. I sent an email out yesterday and looking for kind of the same thing. If what kind of a critical mass we have.
It's the same day, isn't it?
No, March 9th is Sherwood. And March 16th is,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Right.
sorry. March 9th for sure.
yeah.
You were just gonna let them run with that, weren't you?
Yeah,
He's a good board member.
So we could do both.
All right, and just a quick reminder, we have Rich White as our speaker next week from Boeing. So that could be a very interesting discussion.
Max program manager?
He's government affairs.
Yeah, well, that in itself could probably be a very interesting.
Sorry.
No, I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do reports, starting with you, Jack.
Usual, we're over. Well, we're approaching actually 2/3 paid on food. It's getting there.
How about Paul Harris?
He paid.
Most people, I get exact, most people who have paid dues, they call Harris, the vast majority of people.
Great.
Until we don't.
Well, we hopefully will get our usual 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, club might have to.
Not hopefully. We will get it.
We gotta do it.
We don't have smoke.
It's been a tradition, and we're not gonna fail on my watch, okay?
any amount counts,
Any amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
above $25.
any amount above. Yes, any amount above 3,000.
Yeah, well, if
There you go.
Go there, go on.
Just go talk to Brian.
Brian who?
No, not this Brian.
The guy you mentioned.
Not my husband.
Well, I'm sure he's good to go with this. He knows.
You'll
Paul.
answer for it.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
We just bought a motorhome fridge yesterday. It was so expensive.
Did the motor come with you?
No. Right?
Well, that could have been handy to have up on Lopez Island.
Right?
Was it just coolers?
What we needed though, she has.
We had a fridge, it broke. Actually, our indoor fridge broke, so we took the fridge to the motor home and put it inside of our house.
Oh,
Stop cat measure. Yeah, Okay, sorry, carry on.
that's okay.
Just pick
Carry.
on Darren.
What's up with Secretary?
All right, the board meeting on Tuesday is at the food bank at 5:30. And if you need any dates of what's going on in our club. I've updated everything except I've got to put on the second Tuesday of the month for, our fireside at Lake Stevens, brewery.
Are we having one this month in addition to the other?
I don't know, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything is,
So that's.
everything is on there all the way through June, including the board meetings, the district grant seminar, training seminar. Most, I tried to capture whatever might be of interest from the district is on our website, on the calendar. We can look it up and it's all there. So that's done. And just a reminder, the Yale conference is March 1 to 3. Deadline is already passed. And the grant seminar, both Chris, Ron, and I are going up. So that's it.
James?
Yes, are we sponsoring anybody for Give? Is that where?
The last I talked to Kristen was, she wanted Diego and Pablo to go. Have you talked to? I haven't confirmed that. And I sent her a note the other day asking if she had got them registered and I hadn't heard.
Thank you.
And she was also putting it out to the Interact Club. You know, see if anybody there was interested.
Ron?
Just got 2 weeks away, got pets, so looking forward to learn how to be a president of the Rotary. Then followed out 2 weeks later, we have the grant seminar in Ferndale, so.
All right.
get busy month.
Rebecca, just so you know, to be a president, you have to have pets.
Okay. No, I wouldn't fall, well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got Ken, there you go, you're in.
Okay. So early. I'm sorry about that. Linda?
All's good in the international. I don't have an update from last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm glad all is good. Kendra's not here. Miranda's out of town today, so guess we're actually close to being on schedule. Sergeant, we want to do our little raffle.
Hopefully everybody has a raffle ticket, at least one. Okay. We have one of our guests, who brought the winning ticket. A lot of pressure on us, you have to pick a red one. Okay. One. And then read the last three numbers I got, a red ticket.
And don't pick your mother-in-laws.
Okay.
Okay, I can see.
Wait, 271.
Yeah.
No, but this one, 2, 1, no, wait.
Just read the last three. and then get-
Oh, just the 3?
Yeah, the last three.
Okay,
Here we go.
the last 3 numbers, 271. Okay, you didn't.
Thank you. That's the right one. Thank
There
you.
you go.
All right. I did. Now. Hold the button. That's only the first act. Now I have to pick the winning duck. If it has a W and it does not, thank you. Give these back to our treasurer. Search. All right. Yeah, so I won't keep one. Are you happy then?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy.
Okay.
Happy, all my family's here, we worked up, we go to the park. It's good, it's good.
Good, right. Morehouse.
I'm happy. Thank you, board member Gary, and Don for your promotion of Sherwood Gala. And I'm happy because we've got a new family member, Greta, getting them up this big, who at 3:30 this morning was playing with a turn off, on off switch for a lamp on the table.
Oh, my God.
Turned the lamp on. and then knocked the lamp down onto her and spilled a vase of flowers all over the floor. So that's how happy I am.
And took off running. Because she was scared.
But she didn't break it.
All the joys of pet parent. Debbie, good morning.
Happy it's Friday too, happy to be here. Happy to be Sunday, the name that.
We know who you are.
We still know
Where would that apply?
Oh, it's not-
Oh, that's true. We just put a piece of tape over it.
We gotta save it all.
Well, neighbor.
Already been voted a couple, happy to be here, apparently I'm tired this morning, but we're talking about a child. So, yeah, I'm just, well, happy to be here.
Depends on your point of view of pets, right? They're like children. No?
I'm happy it's Friday and I'm happy it is my wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Well,
When are you
Way to
moving?
go.
Update Rotary.
Well, it might not
It's
be,
Groundhog's Day too, by the way.
it might, she might have updated her profile.
yeah, did you update your profile?
So we would know when your anniversary.
I probably did not.
Does your husband?
He does know.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He's on the hook, yeah. I'm actually responsible. How are you guys celebrating tonight? We are going to the comedy show tonight, yes.
He didn't see his shadow.
He did not, so he will only write 39 years. Never doing your
Well, let's be hopeful.
I'll renew my contract for another year.
That happened last week, Lance. Mr. President, are you happy?
Yeah, I guess I'm happy. I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend. We have 4 grandkids that are going to come spend the weekend with us. And from 2 different families, which generally makes for a little more chaos than normal. And it's always kind of fun because the whole lower level of our house is like the family cabin. And so that means that even I have to sleep down there. All the kids sleep down there, so we're all kind of packed in the space and we watch movies and that type of thing. And
You're there to sort of keep order.
yeah, but that's
Or are they there to watch you?
yeah, well, they'll watch that for sure. Yeah.
All right, so I got a few things here. First of all, the Granite Falls Food Bank fundraiser. So there's flips up front, so please come and support. That
What's
was
the date of
awesome.
that?
That is the 10th.
Of March.
No, February.
Oh, okay, no
So about
conflict.
a week. Yeah, in about a week. So, and I'll be serving soup the first couple hours, so I'll wait on you.
Right.
What else? Let's see. Thank you for Debbie, because she went and visited Dad and they had gin and tonics the other day, so that was really nice. I appreciate that. It's a little lonely. And I know that Gary went and had lunch with him one day, so I really
I
appreciate.
should call him, but he doesn't answer his phone.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it gets turned off. But anyway, means a lot to me. What else? Let's see. I know there's other stuff, but I can't
It was
remember.
very fun, it's still so fun.
And I understand the gin and tonic is available anytime
That's right.
at 5 o'clock.
Like 5 o'clock, yeah. Evidently, he's going to bed at 6:30 now, so don't go too late.
6:30.
And I did bring my own line, because I wanted to make sure I had line.
I think there's a shriveled line in the fridge.
Okay, there's a fresh one now.
Okay, there you go.
Doesn't a lime become a lemon after a while?
Well,
So Catherine, our fireside on the 16th, it'll be fun.
okay, so is that from 5:30 to 6:30, then he's going to bed?
Probably, I'll still be there.
He pushes lemons.
Yes, you'll have fun. It'll be good, yeah.
We had a really great week. I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're going to the comedy show at the food bank. What is the benefit again? Benefits.
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, yeah, at the food bank. That's gonna be great. And we're gonna go to the Creator Zone tomorrow afternoon as a family. And then just,
Are you headlining the show then?
never.
He's gonna have a really good teacher tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Mike Westover is gonna be there.
Oh, who's that? What?
Mike's gonna be teaching them how to use the lathe to make pens.
Oh, what time?
From 2 to 4. We have a couple.
Got room
different
for 4 more.
sessions. Oh, my gosh, right?
I may have to go.
It's like- it's
I
like
gotta
the-
personalize
The Creator Zone, she is putting out events all of the time for drop-in, and you guys absolutely should go, yeah.
Like I may go on too.
Burn some energy off.
And I do suggest, yeah, going out of your household with kids.
Yeah.
Very happy. Thank you. I just bottled up Dawson cases, so as a winemaker, that's actually gratifying thing. So like 2 years, didn't get 1,000 cases of wine. This last week, so that's happy. And then, the wife and I are gonna be having, we've got 2 healthy embryos.
Congratulations.
Can I get them on the side? And yeah, so we have 2 healthy babies.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Secretary O'Reilly.
Well, if Kim Daughtry is on time, I'll have my bathroom all done next week. It's interesting, you sit there and it's a mix of politics and getting the work done. And then, my daughter with a girlfriend went to Creator Zone and talked about, I think she went into Mike's room and she said, you know what they do in there? And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she said, yeah, they know you.
everybody.
So it was fun. She wants to get involved up there. We'll see what happens.
Did I see your name in the paper earlier this week?
Yeah, you did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's right here.
Everyone's ice cream for that?
Extra fun.
An extra fine for that, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I was thanking the voters of Lake Stevens for passing the fire levy. I had talked to Kevin about that a while back. I thought that somebody other than the fire service ought to, send out a thank you. So I wrote it up and sent it, about 4 weeks ago. It just got in on Tuesday.
Finally have.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Nice.
So you're in print?
Huh?
So you're in print?
I'm in print.
things you do today.
Yeah, good deal. Thank you.
Right. Mr. Past President.
Yes, I'm always happy it's Friday, being around a lot of positive people, and my wife's birthday was on Sunday, so we're going to Astoria for 3 days. It'll be kind of fun. Hopefully I'll bring her back.
Hopefully you back.
Yeah, she might leave me down, just throw me off the bridge there. Well, your holders, that's alone. There you go.
Are you imparting some presidential wisdom on our
Yeah.
past president?
Okay.
I suppose.
So I am super excited, just my first grandbaby is just got announced, so congratulations. This means I'm getting older too, but, so, I'm real, yeah.
It's not overrated.
Yeah, just started.
Talk about life change.
All right.
All
well, we
right,
got-
I'm happy as well. Glad to be here. It's Friday and thanks for writing that letter.
We got a couple more up on the screen here.
Oh, we do, yes. Dr. DeLorme.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I'm not turning the screen on again. I'm just happy that it's Friday and I got to hang with Joyce yesterday for a little bit, so she's doing well and just heading out of town this weekend, so racing around trying to get everything done.
Right.
Thank you.
Joelle.
Yes, good morning.
Good
It's been a
morning.
long time. Hopefully I'll be back in the morning meeting before long.
All right. And good morning.
Yes.
Johanna.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying good morning to somebody else, so.
Well, she's got happy bucks.
She has happy bucks. All right, Joelle, go ahead.
Let's see. I'm happy that I was able to make the meeting this morning for the first time in a while. So super thankful for that.
All right. And good morning, Johanna. All right, there we go. And Jack.
Sure.
Sure.
It's only 2 months.
Lance, what was that bad word you said, Jack, earlier?
We don't
I'm
use
not
that
saying
word.
it.
Okay, Mr. President.
All right. we're putting up presentation. And I have to read all this. What did I just say? Okay, there we go. Okay, Rebecca. I think we're up. And we're gonna learn about guide dogs.
Yes.
All right, so this should work.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Good. I do have one more puppy raiser that I can see her out in the parking lot. She's got one of our baby puppies with her today. So Santana's cute and all, but not cute like a 3-month-old puppy. Good. Thank you. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having us here this morning. My name is Rebecca Manelga. I am one of the co-leaders for the Snohomish chapter of Guide Dogs for the Blind. We are one of approximately 40 chapters of puppy raisers in 10 Western states, serving Guide Dogs for the Blind with a primary campus in San Rafael, California, and a secondary campus just outside of Portland, Oregon. We raise and train somewhere between 400 and 600 puppies per year for partnership with people who are blind or visually disabled. So we have a huge program. Right here in Snohomish County, at any given time, I have between 5 and 7 actively raised pups and anywhere from 10, excuse me, 10 to 15 families that are engaged in raising, co-raising, puppy sitting, which is our short-term respite care for raisers, and supporting us through a variety of different volunteer opportunities. So I am thrilled to be here this morning speaking with you. I have been doing this now for about 17 years. I started when we moved up here in 2005 and have been doing it ever since. Santana is a 9-month-old female yellow lab, and she is puppy number 13. The one that'll be coming in here in just a moment is a 3-month-old female yellow lab, Coast. She is puppy number 14, and I am co-raising her with the other raiser that will be coming in just a minute. A little bit about the mission and vision of Guide Dogs for the Blind. Our goal is to harness the power of partnerships, connecting people, dogs, and communities to transform the lives of individuals with visual impairments. And I'm thrilled to be here speaking to you this morning because our community is such a critical part of what it is that we do. I'll talk in a little while about our primary work as puppy raisers, but a huge component in that is socialization. We are responsible for 100% of these puppies' socialization skills. Once they return to campus for advanced training, there is no more socialization opportunity going out into the community in ways that are not directly linked to the ongoing training. And that's where, as a community, all of you get to partner with us by welcoming us into your spaces, by supporting the work that we're doing. I love that we've got the fire department represented here. We just did on Monday a fire station outing in Snohomish, where our puppies were actually able to meet and greet with firefighters in full gear with the mask and the oxygen tank and the beeping alarm, because in an emergency, that's really scary. And that moment when the dog balks and says, "Oh, I don't want to go near you," that's the difference between life and death for their partner. So community partners like that are a critical piece of the work that we do each and every day. The vision of Guide Dogs is an inclusive world where people with visual impairments have equal opportunities and live full and independent lives. And we call that a vision because we are not there yet, despite the fact that people who are blind and visually disabled often are differently abled, but fully capable. There is still a huge stigma in the United States about any type of disability, and overcoming that is very, very challenging. On top of that, the fake service dog epidemic that we face on a daily basis has not made things easier for us. And so that is a vision because it's a hope for the future for us. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. I do have a brief video. I'm not sure, can we do video?
Sometimes, but.
Okay, let's see if we can do a video. It's okay. So we talked about that the power of partnership is a really critical component to the work that we do. The partnerships that we have with the dogs, the partnerships that we have with our parent organization at Guide Dogs for the Blind, the partnerships that we have within our own community. If I'm going out of town, my dog needs to be with a trained razor trainer. And so I can't just leave her with my best friend as much as I would love to. So lots of partnerships going on within our community and then within the greater community as well. Okay. So a little bit about puppy raising 101. These are kind of the big questions that a lot of people have when we talk about what is puppy raising. So our puppies typically arrive in our homes right around 8 weeks old. They are very young, and they have actually already received a significant amount of training and socialization on the Guide Dogs campus. Guide Dogs believes that training begins the day after they are born. So training begins on day 2, and we continue with that all the way through the training process. They are typically in our program for 12 to 14 months, a little over a year per dog. During that time, we are wholly responsible for all of their basic and advanced obedience, all of their socialization, and all of their house manners, because when they return to Guide Dogs for the Blind, they are in kennels. They are not getting any house manner practice. Ideally, our dogs are pleasant to live with. They get out of the way when you start walking across a room. Not all of them do, but ideally they get out of the way. They're not having accidents in the house. They're not running wild around the house. They're not jumping on furniture. They're not chewing up our homes. They do that as puppies, but by the time they go back, ideally they are not doing any of those things. They're pleasant to live with. And our goal is also to expose them to a range of households. I have 2 kids, 11 and 6. That's a very different lifestyle than my co-leader, who is an older woman. She's retired. She has grandkids, but they're not there at the house. What she does have that I don't have is birds. And so we do like to move our puppies around from house to house on occasion to make sure they're seeing all the different ways that our households can look. All of our puppies and raisers are required to attend ongoing training meetings and group outings to ensure the quality of our program. So as a leader, I meet with each and every one of our puppies about twice a month, more often when they are very young baby puppies. And then as they get ready to return to Guide Dogs, we see them more often again to make sure that they're really dialed in and ready to go. So a little bit more about each of these topics. So our basic and advanced obedience includes all of your standard obedience commands. If you teach it to your dog at home, we probably teach it to our dogs as well. And then we also have a number of guide-specific commands that we introduce to the pups, including wait, stand, let's go, which is our version of heel. And then we have DYB is our potty command. So all of our dogs potty on command on hard surfaces, because if you are blind or visually disabled, it can be challenging to find a grassy patch for your dog to relieve on. They need to go when you ask them to, wherever you ask them to. For socialization, our pups go on 5 to 7 outings per week. That can be to work with us. My husband works at Boeing about once a week. Santana will go with him to Boeing and get to have that experience. Hey, I know you see her. You need to cut it out. Sit. Thank you. I also work at my kids' school, so my dogs go to school with me at least once, if not 2 or 3 times a week, and they get to experience that environment. When we're done here, my kid needs some craft supplies from Michael's. Both these puppies are going to go with us to Michael's. And so outings like that, they just do life with us. There are very few places that they are not protected and not permitted to go. So they just go everywhere. The movie theater, the grocery store, restaurants, all the places that you go on a daily basis, our dogs go with us. We also do a significant emphasis on public transportation. Again, their partners are going to be blind or visually disabled. And so public transit will be a critical component of their training. So we do lots of outings on public buses, on the trains, the light rail out of Northgate. And many of us actually fly with our puppies before they go back for training. So those of us that travel often will actually take the puppies with us on an airplane once they reach about 9 months old and are ready for that intense of an outing. They don't know they're on an airplane. They're pretty sure they're just in the backseat of a car, like always. And then we talked already a little bit about house manners and how important those are. So outings can also be a lot of fun. You can see we've got some great photos. We have Puppy Channing at a Mariners game, Puppy Kirsten at a Sounders game, Puppy Star at the Everett Mall, and Puppy Joel meeting a firefighter. So we do a firefighter outing every year, sometimes twice a year. Occasionally puppies will be a little nervous and they'll need a retrain on that outing. So we love you guys. We see you guys all the time. I have another video that's not going to work, but just kind of talks about some of the things that we've already talked about this morning. So what happens after they are done being trained in our home? So they have a variety of options moving forwards. Once they're done with our at-home training, they are typically around 16 months old and they return to Guide Dogs for the Blind. For us, usually the Portland campus, occasionally the California campus, where they receive their harness training. You'll notice that our pups today are wearing jackets, but not that full harness with the handle on it. So that training takes place completely independently. It takes anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks, and then they are partnered with a client who is blind or visually disabled. They go through a 2-week training course together, and then they graduate. But there are some other options that exist. Guide Dogs is working very hard to make sure as many of our puppies are successful as possible. So one of the other options is for a guide dog puppy to become a breeder. So the most exceptional dogs are invited back to campus to become the parents of the next generation of guide dogs. So this was my very first puppy, Sarita, all the way back in 2006. She ended up throwing almost 30 puppies, approximately 22 of which went on to become guide dogs.
That's awesome.
So it is incredibly important that our breeding stock are the best of the best, both medically and temperamentally. If you are familiar at all with the American Lab, you look at our puppies and you probably notice they don't really look like an American Lab. They don't. We are a sub-breed of Labrador Retriever. It's specifically called the Guide Dogs Lab. And it is because we breed for medical and temperament before conformation. We don't care what they look like. They have to be medically sound and they have to be, we say, bomb-proof. They have to be able to work no matter what happens. And so breeding is an incredibly important part of our program. We also have partnerships with a variety of service dog organizations all over the United States to ensure that our bloodlines remain extremely robust. Of course, ideally, we love our dogs to become a working guide. So this is Steve and Roxanne. Roxanne was, again, one of my puppies. She was partnered, she's now retired. She was partnered with the man who designed and built the Olympic Athletes Village up in Whistler, BC. So he unfortunately began losing his sight not long after, and he and Roxanne were partnered for approximately 11 years. She retired about 6 months ago and he got his new guide dog. But they have been fabulous friends of ours for a very, very long time. And she loved working at Whistler. She learned how to sled. So she just lived a very happy, wonderful life up there and gave him back all of the mobility that he lost through losing his vision. And so that was very meaningful for him and his family. We are also in the midst of building up a third alternative option. Our Canine Buddy program is growing exponentially this year. Not every person who will eventually need a guide dog is old enough for a guide dog. We do have a minimum age. However, those dogs that aren't quite ready for the rigors of guide work can be partnered with children who are blind or visually disabled to help them understand that power of partnership, have them begin to get used to what it's like to do life with a dog in their home, to have a dog that goes with them to all of the various places that they go in their lives. And so the Canine Buddy program is one that we are currently growing at a very rapid rate. And we're very excited about it because what we're doing is preparing a younger generation for guide work later on. Once a partnership has been made and is successful, a client and a dog will do approximately 2 weeks of training together. That can go quicker if they've had a previous guide dog. That can also take a little bit longer if it's their very first time having a guide dog. And then we get to do graduation. And so I'm not going to bury the lead. Yes, it is really, really hard to let our dogs go. There's tears, there's devastation. It is a process of letting go. But this is the moment that for many of us makes it worth it. We get to meet the client with our dog. Often our dog remembers us. They're excited to see us. And then we do a formal graduation ceremony where we ceremonially hand the leash over to the client. And many of them go on to be very, very dear friends of ours. I said, she's puppy number 13, she's puppy number 14. We have wonderful relationships with at least 6 of our current guide clients. It's always up to the client. Some of them don't want to pursue relationship. That's okay too. But we have wonderful relationships with those who do. So this is the moment that we often feel like it's all worth it when we see the difference that that dog is making in the life of the person who receives the dog. What about the dogs who don't make it? So Guide Dogs for the Blind as an organization has just over a 50% pass rate across all of these different options. And that's actually incredibly high. The washout rate for service dogs is incredibly high. The washout rate is about 75% in the general service dog industry. So for guide dogs to have about a 50% rate is incredible. And we are working even now to bring that number up always. If they are not deemed a good guide dog candidate for a variety of reasons, it can be temperamentally, it can be medically. There's a number of different reasons why a guide dog might not make it all the way through the program. We do have approximately 15 other service dog organizations that we partner with that we will then offer the dogs to. So those range from seizure, diabetic, cardiac alert, to PTSD and psychotherapy, to mobility work. So a variety of different organizations, search and rescue, that would love to have dogs that are well-trained, socialized, ready to go, and they just have to do whatever it is that they specifically need for their organization. So many of our dogs, about half of those that wash out of our program, do go into alternative service work with another organization. We also have a number of them go on to hold multiple competition, obedience and agility and scent work titles. We actually have one here in Snohomish County that has so many titles. She has her own Facebook page, and they can't add any more titles to her name. They've reached the limit. So now all of her titles have to live in her bio, because it was Bagel, and then it was her first few titles, and it was just too long, and they said names aren't that long. So she is a nationally recognized obedience, agility, and scent work title holder. And then, of course, also as a beloved pet, some of our dogs do just come home to us and we get to hang out with them, and they just live their lives with us as a beloved pet, which is also good work. So we have up here Charla, she went on to become a Delta dog, which was the old term for generalized service work. So that's now, that program is a lot more specific, but at the time that she went through, she went to Delta, which was generalized service dog work. And then Presto, who was a career change in a pet and clearly loves that life. So what does it mean that these dogs are working in public? Well, they're working all the time, even when they are laying down while I get to do something like this. This is work. She is settling in public without being a distraction to me, without being a distraction to you. Coast over here is still learning how to do that. And she's right on target for what we would expect for a 3-month-old puppy. She'll get better as she continues to grow. And by the time she's 9 months, she'll look a lot more like this one. Every aspect of the day is work, even if it doesn't look like it. And that's why it's critically important not to interrupt the work. It doesn't always look like they're working. It looks like they're taking a nap. It looks like they're standing next to us in line. They are in fact working, and they're working very hard. They're holding position. They are paying attention to us as the handler. They're waiting for that cue to move or to perform something like a sit. They are keeping themselves in control. These are lab puppies. Has anyone ever seen a badly trained Labrador Retriever? That's what these guys would do if they were not working so hard. And so it is incredibly important that when you see a dog in public, like with that vest, with that harness, whatever it looks like, that is a working dog. And it's very important not to interrupt that work. So what can you do? So just some basic rules for working service dogs. Please always ask before touching them, speaking to them, distracting them. This does include staring soulfully into their eyes and saying, I know I can't pet you, but I want to. Anything that's a direct engagement between you and the dog needs to be filtered through the handler first. Again, they may not look like they're working, but they are actually working. Please don't ever feed a working dog. Many of our dogs have strict diets. They have food allergies, or there are other things that we're working on where we use a lot of food reward for our dogs. And so outside sources of food can actually train them in behaviors that we don't want to see. Dogs pattern very, very quickly. And so receiving food at a time when they're making a naughty choice can actually teach them that that naughty choice is what I have to do to get food. So please don't ever feed a working dog. And please always acknowledge the handler first, because they are a person and they would like to be acknowledged. You can always, always, always ask. Again, I work in a school part-time. Our kids are fantastic. Miss Rebecca, can I pet your dog right now? No, you can't pet her right now. She's working. Yes, absolutely. She's doing a great job. Feel free to go ahead and pet her. If you're interested in learning more about the Guide Dogs program or anything about access and etiquette for our dogs, Guide Dogs for the Blind keeps a comprehensive website. It's fabulous. Of course, the American with Disabilities Act is the federal law that protects our right to be in public with these dogs. So we always refer people back to that one. If you need a great family-friendly film, I highly recommend Pick of the Litter. It was released in 2018. We call it a dogumentary. It follows a litter of puppies from the time that they're born all the way through the guide dog experience, including in the puppy raiser home, and then going through training and graduation. And one of the puppies actually becomes a breeder, so it ends with the dog having her first litter of puppies. Part of it was filmed right here in Snohomish County, so you'll recognize the Mukilteo Ferry and the Snohomish gazebo. So that's a fabulous film. It is very family friendly. Highly recommended. It does stream on Amazon. And I believe if you're part of the Snow Isle Libraries, they have multiple DVD copies. And then you can also donate locally by visiting guidedogs.com/give-to-clubs. I have a trailer for Pick of the Litter. It's a film, so it's not gonna. It's okay. It is a great film. Okay, before we jump into questions, I just want to quickly introduce Shizuko. So Shizuko is another one of our local raisers, and she is my co-raiser for Baby Coast. So Shizuko, how long have you been raising?
Oh gosh, it probably has been, well, I've been involved in the puppy club activities for at least 7 years and 6 out of that as a raiser. This here, right here, Coast is my puppy number 4, and I have one that is puppy number 1 that became a guide and working in co-worker.
Thank you. Okay, are there?
Please let our Zoomers see the dogs.
Yes, yes. So are there any questions?
So, you mentioned about Steve and Roxanne. So is Roxanne staying in the home that she guided in, or is she somewhere else?
She is staying in the home that she guided in. We love them. They purchased his and hers recliners a number of years ago. His is his and hers is Roxanne's, and the wife that's on the couch. Yeah.
Is there a particular male, female ratio, that females are better or males are better, or it's 50-50?
It's about 50-50, yes. We do keep most of our males intact for quite a long time. And so we do see some washout from that, but for the most part, it's about 50-50.
So for your breeders, is that all done in someone's home?
Nope, so that's done on our California campus. We have a large campus in San Rafael, California. The breeder dogs themselves are placed in foster families where they basically live as pets. And then when they go into heat or when they're needed for stud, they come into campus. They go through that process on campus. They're then sent home again until they're ready to whelp, and then they're brought back into campus where they have 24/7 neonatal care from about 2 weeks before the due date, all the way until, I think we send the mothers home between 6 and 8 weeks, right before we send the puppies out.
I know, right? I mean, that's amazing.
Right? Yeah, our dogs get better care than I got after you.
So first question is, are you familiar with Summit Assistance Dogs?
I am, yes. Summit
they
is a
were part of-
fantastic organization.
They're a partner with us in the past, and I'm with Sherwood Community Services, so we provide services to children and adults with disabilities.
Okay.
Second question, it sounds like you do a lot of community education by taking your dogs everywhere, and I heard you specifically say dogs are welcome almost everywhere. So tell me about where they're not welcome or how that.
That's an excellent question. So there are a few places that we are forbidden by law to go. One of those is zoos. The animals don't need that level of stress. The dogs don't need that level of stress. We just don't need to go to a zoo. We also are not welcome in active food prep areas. So we can go to a buffet, but we can't necessarily be at a chef's table in a working kitchen for hygienic reasons.
Thank you.
So follow up on Lance's question then. If a person has a guide dog, should they not go to a zoo?
So the rules are a little different for a working guide, versus a service dog in training.
Got it, okay.
Yes, so a working guide can go to a zoo, still cannot go to a working kitchen prep area, but can go to a zoo. We don't recommend it, to be honest. Again, that's stress on the animals, that's stress on the dog. But we let our clients make that decision.
Sure.
You can go to dining, but not to the food prep area.
Correct, yes, we can go to restaurants, we can go to buffets, we just can't be in an active kitchen.
Good one.
Yeah, so you train the dogs,
Mhm.
and then the person that makes a dog, like the visually impaired person, they need to buy these dogs?
No, that's an excellent question. So Guide Dogs for the Blind is completely donor and completely donor run. We rely on a huge number of volunteers to accomplish our mission. And our dogs are offered completely free of charge to all qualifying candidates. And so we do not ever charge for the dogs. We don't charge for the training, and we provide follow-up care, both veterinary and training, all the way through the lifetime of the dog, which is never charged for either.
So if you need a dog, you need to apply.
You apply to the program, and as long as you're legally blind or visually disabled, you will be accepted and there will be no charge. That's an excellent question. And just to follow up on that, we're often asked, what are these dogs worth? Intrinsically, they have the value of a well-trained dog. They're not even purebreds. By the time we put all of the vet and training into them, typically they're worth between $40,000 and $50,000. That's the value of ruining a guide dog with poor training. So we like to tell our raisers that unless you want to write a check, please do your very best with these dogs. Accidents happen, but they're more likely to happen when we're not doing a good job.
So they're usually pretty, the labs are fairly active dogs, so off work time.
Yes.
So I assume they have the same kind of ability to run around and play.
Absolutely. Research over the last 5 years has shown that our dogs are more confident and more happy, and their mental health is in a better place when they are allowed to act like dogs. Excuse me, I have a little tick in my throat. On a regular basis. So they do get daily playtime. Those of us with fenced yards, they can run in the yard. We play fetch, we play hide and seek. We do scent work with them because it challenges their brains. We use a variety of different types of interactive toys that are food-based to help them problem solve, which then again grows their confidence because they're learning that they are capable of solving these problems.
This is sort of specific. I was a guide for my friend who had MS, and when she would get caught, her vision would lessen, and so she required a guide for a triathlon. So we swam together, biked together, and ran together. I'm curious about like that athleticism or opportunity for guide dogs to help on that level.
Yeah, that's going to really depend on the individual. So there's the generalized training that occurs, and then there's individual training that occurs to match your lifestyle. And we actually do match our dogs temperamentally with the lifestyles of the handlers that they're going to be joining. And so for a situation like that, we would choose a high energy athletic dog, and then we would work with the client to help them build the endurance of the dog to the necessary extent for them to be successful. Safety is always a concern. So probably not so much for the swim or the bike. That's kind of a whole different realm of guiding with a human partner. But certainly for the run, you could get to a point where the dog was able to at least do a portion of the run with them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I know we're close on time.
Couple more questions, I think.
Yeah, so I think I understood that the people that are raising the dogs are volunteers.
Yes, we are all volunteers.
Okay, so how do you know how to train the dog, or how do you know how to raise this dog?
That's my job as one of the co-leaders for Snohomish County. So when somebody comes to us and says, hey, I'm really interested in doing this, we will meet with them on an ongoing basis over several months. They'll join us for some of our local outings and socialization training opportunities. Usually the first time that they're with us, we're like, here, have a leash, have a dog. And we learn by doing. We like our raisers to learn by doing. After as little as 1 month, sometimes as long as 3 months, when the raiser feels comfortable and confident with the training. We also have some online classes that they are able to take to learn a little bit more about the training protocols. We'll do a home visit to make sure that the home is a safe place for our puppies. And then we'll do what's called puppy sitting, where they can do short-term respite care for actively raised puppies. And once they feel comfortable, yeah, this is going to work in my life. I get what it means to have the dog with me all the time. We'll go ahead and place a puppy. So that whole process can really take as little as 2 to 3 months. Sometimes it takes much longer. I've got a raiser in Green Lake right now that his job is not amenable to this situation. And so he's still in that puppy sitting phase because we can't place a puppy because he can't take it to work and it can't stay home for 10 hours a day.
What's the best way that this audience can support you, like with our networks and or what's the best way to like get you money? Sounds like you guys are needing a lot more money than you're getting.
Yeah, well, we are always grateful for donations. That website that I had up, a little bit ago, the guidedogs.com give to clubs and earmarking it for Snohomish is a great way to support us financially. In terms of supporting us within the community, we are on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, we are Guide Dogs for the Blind, Snohomish Puppy Raisers. And just amplifying the voice in the community. We've been here for almost 30 years, and it's really surprising. Not a lot of people know that we exist in this Snohomish County community. And so we're doing a big push at the moment to come speak with groups like you to let you know we're here. And we may show up at your place of business. And so supporting us in the community really looks like knowing and understanding that as service dogs in training, we're allowed to come into your places of business. It looks like amplifying our voice if you're able to. It looks like letting your community contacts know, hey, we learned about this and it was great and they're here and they've got 7 puppies and they might come into your business. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Real quickly, so who funds the training? Is that individual raisers?
So Guide Dogs for the Blind provides for the veterinary care of all of our puppies from birth onwards. Other than that, as a local raiser, we are responsible for all of the costs associated with raising. So that's going to be food, supplies, leashes, kennels, crates. We keep a library of many of those things so that if we do have a family that's not able to do the financial side of some of those things, we're able to help them out with it. But yeah, absolutely. The raisers are actually responsible for a huge amount of the funds. Snohomish County does support our raisers. So if there is a financial hardship, we cover all of the associated costs. That varies by local chapter. That's not true for everyone.
Just like owning a pet, though.
It is very much all of the costs of owning a pet minus the veterinary care.
Yeah, this time with the purpose.
Yes.
Young, just. Pet.
How about the
Thank you.
more formal training after raisers turn it over, the puppy over?
Yeah, so Guide Dogs for the Blind is a nonprofit that is completely donor funded. So it is donors that cover the cost of the training. So the next step above me is where you start getting paid. So those would be our regional directors of puppy raising. We call them our puppy field managers. And then all the way up through the actual campuses are all paid positions. And all of that is covered through donor funding to Guide Dogs for the Blind, the parent organization, not the local chapter.
And food you feed the dogs.
We have about 15 different options that are acceptable because we are everywhere from Texas all the way up here to Washington State. And so what is available locally can vary. We do try and send our dogs back either on Eukanuba chicken and rice or Natural Balance lamb and rice. And that's what they're fed on campus.
So no feeding from the table,
No feeding from no scraps at all.
no throwing it under the table.
Well, thank you.
Wouldn't like.
Yes, thank you so much.
I have one question. And that goes back to your.
Yes.
I assume that the puppy is in a seat, you mentioned, like actually not in a crate in the home.
No, our puppies don't travel in a crate. You know how they say, put your small bag under the seat in front of you? There are small bags.
Okay.
And so we actually train them to kennel in those very small spaces and they travel under the seat in front of us, right where your small bag would go.
But they don't count as a carry-on.
They do not count as a carry-on. Guide Dogs did send a number of little freebies, so please come check them out, grab something. If you've got a waiting room and want to put some information out, go for it. Please don't make me take this stuff home because it takes up a ton of space in my garage. So don't be shy, come get something. Thank you so much. And we will hang around for a little while if you want to pet the puppies. So we'll let you finish, then if you want to pet puppies.
Oh, we're pretty much done. That was very interesting.
Well,
All right, unless anybody has anything else to mention or bring up, I think we're done.
Thought we were already done.
That's okay.
I know.